Announcing the commencement of the first purge.
I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich. You get out there, you use your weapons, and you rip Washington apart. You hunt down the billionaires, the bank bosses, the CEOs, the scumbags, and the liars, the governors, the lobbyists, the senators, because they're all the same, and you hang them.
Just remember all the good the purge does.
Good morning, everyone. It is August 29th, 2018. Vigilantes with a badge, warrior cops endanger our lives and freedoms. This comes from John Whitehead of the Rutherford Institute. There are always risks in challenging excessive police power, but the risks of not challenging it are more dangerous, even fatal. That comes from Hunter S. Thompson, Kingdom of Fear. I've known a lot of good cops. I have defended a lot of good cops. And I have been fortunate to call a number of good cops friends. Not me. There's no such thing as a good cop. So when I say that warrior cops, hyped up on their own authority and the power of the badge, have not made America any safer or freer, I am not disrespecting any of the fine, decent, lawful police officers who take seriously their oath of office to serve and protect their fellow citizens, uphold the Constitution, and maintain peace. Well, these same good cops are involved with covering up for the not-so-good cops, which makes them bad cops too. He says, my beef is with the growing squads of warrior cops who have been given the green light to kill, shoot, taser, abuse, and steal from American citizens in the so-called name of law and order. Those cops are little more than vigilantes with a badge. Indeed, it is increasingly evident that militarized police armed with weapons of war who are allowed to operate above the law and break the laws with impunity have not made America any safer nor freer. Don't take my word for it. A new study by a political scientist at Princeton University concludes that militarizing police and SWAT teams provide no detectable benefits in terms of officer safety or violent crime reduction. In fact, according to researcher Jonathan Mumolo, if police in America are feeling less safe, it's because the process of transforming them into extensions of the military makes them less safe, less popular, and less trustworthy. The study, the first systemic analysis on the use and consequences of militarized force, reveals that police militarization neither reduces rates of violent crime nor changes the murder of officers assaulted or killed, or I said number of officers assaulted or killed. In other words, warrior cops aren't making us or themselves any safer. Consider that not a day goes by without reports of police officers overstepping the bounds of the Constitution and brutalizing, terrorizing, and killing the citizenry. Indeed, the list of incidents in which unaccountable police abuse their power, betray their oath of office, and leave taxpayers bruised, broken, and or killed grows larger or longer and more tragic by the day. Americans who are now 8 times more likely to die in a police confrontation than they are to be killed by a terrorist. The problem, as one reporter rightly concluded, is not that life has gotten that much more dangerous. It's that the authorities have chosen to respond to even innocent situations as if they were in a war zone. This battlefield mindset has gone hand in hand with the rise of militarized SWAT, frequently justified as vital tools necessary to combat terrorism and deal with rare but extremely dangerous criminal situations, such as those involving hostages. SWAT teams, which first appeared on the scene in California in the 1960s, have now become intrinsic parts of local law enforcement operations, thanks in part to substantial federal assistance and the Pentagon's military surplus recycling program, which allows the transfer of military equipment, weapons, and training to local police officers for free or at sharp discounts. Ponder this. In 1980, there were roughly 3,000 SWAT team-style raids in the U.S. Incredibly, that number has since gone up to more than 80,000 SWAT team raids per year. There are few communities without a SWAT team today. Where this becomes a problem of life and death for Americans is when the SWAT teams, dressed, armed, and trained in military tactics, are assigned to carry out routine law enforcement tasks, such as serving a search warrant, no longer reserved exclusively for deadly situations. SWAT teams are now increasingly being deployed for relatively routine police matters, with some SWAT teams being sent out as much as 5 times a day. In the state of Maryland alone, 92% of the 8,200 SWAT missions were used to execute search or arrest warrants. Baltimore and Dallas SWAT teams have been used to bust up poker games. A Connecticut SWAT team swarmed a bar suspected of serving alcohol to underage individuals. In Arizona, a SWAT team was used to break up an alleged cockfighting ring. In Atlanta, SWAT team raided a music studio allegedly out of concern that it might have been involved in illegal music piracy. In Minnesota, a SWAT team raided the wrong house in the middle of the night, handcuffed 3 young children, held their mother on the floor at gunpoint, shot the family dog, and then forced the handcuffed children to sit next to the carcass of their dead pet. In California, the SWAT team drove an armored Bearcat into Roger Sorrento's yard, surrounded his home with paramilitary troops wearing face masks, threw a fire-starting flashbang grenade into the house in order. Then, when he appeared at the window, unarmed and wearing only his shorts, held him at bay with rifles. He died of asphyxiation from being trapped in the flame-filled house. And then there was the officer who tripped out and accidentally shot and killed Uri Stamps, an unarmed grandfather of 12. Equally outrageous was the 4-hour SWAT team raid at a California high school where students were locked down in classrooms, forced to urinate in overturned desks, and generally terrorized by heavily armed masked gunmen searching for possible weapons that were never found. These incidents go on and on and on and on, and they're ability to commit crimes and walk away is a daily thing, as we see on the Free Thought Project. Damn it, my tongue. And I will end it with these headlines, just so you know. No charges for cop who attacked innocent man and beat him unconscious. Cops respond to a mentally ill man by shooting him 3 times after he already committed suicide. And lastly, department claims cop killed himself while chasing a suspect days before testifying against other dirty cops. And this is why I continue to tell you, if you're one of these Blue Lives Matter idiots, one of these cop apologists, you're on the wrong team. Hope everyone has a great day. Kill the state before the state kills you.